Yo, ho, ho. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, man? It is your boy live and direct right here, man. MMA Reloaded, and you are tuned in wherever you're tuning in from your phone, your laptop, shit, your iPad, even your smartwatch. Yeah, if you got one of them ones, you know what I mean? You are tuned in to MMA Reloaded Real Talk, episode 47. And you know what time it is, man. Shit, it's time to get down, count down to our 50th episode, folks, which is coming soon. And I've got big things planned for uh for MMA Reloaded Raw Talk heading into our 15th episode, 50th episode. Give me one there. So yeah, folks, welcome. Yeah, episode 47. Yeah, folks, we are counting down to our 50th episode. And today I have a very, very, very special episode. Yeah, folks. So if you've been following MMA Reloaded on Instagram, which I urge you to follow MMA Reloaded on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, wherever social media is available, we are on social media. You know what I'm saying? We're social. Well, I'm social. It is a very palatable sport, folks. Yeah, it's a very unpredictable sport. It's mixed martial arts. It is a sport where young fighters are just trying to get into the game, and experienced battle tested veterans are trying to earn the respect in the game. Yeah, folks, and that's what we've been seeing these past couple of weeks at UFC fight nights. But before I touch on the UFC fight nights leading into today's episode, yeah, folks, it's an early one right now. Wherever you're tuning in, thank you for tuning in. However you're tuning in, thank you for streaming it live and direct. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, folks, before I touch on the UFC fight nights, like we always do, you know what I'm saying, the 2 cents run and shit like that. I wanna I wanna touch on today's episode because episode 47, folks, and is counting down, of course, to our 50th episode. We are gonna be live with one half of the Cage Steel 25 main event. Former number one contender for the Cage Warriors Bantamweight Championship, 7-4 in his career, a real battle tested veteran. Yeah, folks, a young veteran, still in his prime. Scott Boom Boom Malone, yeah, folks, and Scott Malone will be joining us in about half an hour to 40 minutes. Yeah, folks, 1:30 p.m. GMT. Yeah, folks, that is Greenwich Mean Time. That is the time right here in the UK. Yeah, folks, so Scott Malone will be joining us, folks, and I urge you to tune in to Cage Steel 25. You guys know where to buy the tickets from if you've been following our posts on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook as well, folks. And if you've been tuning into the website, mmareloaded.co.uk, you will find that ticket link to stream Cage Steel 25 live, folks. Over 20 fights, 20 plus fights, and more are being announced. Yeah, you got amateur, you got pro, you got championship fights, you got the youngest, brightest stars in martial arts, in British MMA. Yeah, competing on a stacked all-star card. And Scott Malone, folks, our guest here tonight, will be the main event against Elliot Hoy, who is also a very, very good up-and-coming young prospect. Yeah, folks, he's a two-time flyweight champ on the scene right now. He's got all the skills, and so does Scott Malone, folks, who's got all the experience coming into this one. This is going to be a great main event, folks, and I can't wait to sit with Scott Malone, folks, the pride of Dundee, Scotland. So, folks, before we get into today's episode, yeah, I want to talk because, like I was saying, it's been a very unpredictable night, and it proves it's been a very unpredictable couple of fight nights, um, starting at UFC 259 and ranging at just this past Saturday night, Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. So, folks, I want to talk about for UFC 259, folks, which is a which had three title fights headlining the card, right? Three main events. Yeah, folks. So I wanna kick it off by saying, I did break this down. Yeah, folks. If you tuned into to our on the mic segment live on YouTube a couple of days ago, a few days back, I did break down the Aljamain Sterling versus Petr Yan controversy. Um, I believe Aljamain Sterling, I believe I've said a lot about this, and I don't really need to say any more about it. But Aljamain Sterling does not have to explain himself to anybody. And that is all I'm going to say about that. He does not have to explain himself. He doesn't have to um, say sorry to anybody, even though he feels like he should be saying sorry to everyone. He is the one who got kneed. Yeah. He didn't knee Petr Yan illegally. He didn't do anything illegal in the fight, apart from he was losing the fight later on, coming up to that knee. Until that knee hit, yeah, folks, Petr Yan was coming back in the fight and was, in my opinion, ahead in round 3, round 4. He was actually out wrestling Aljamain Sterling. So I guess that's where the controversy kind of started. But at the end of the day, folks, if you look back at it, Aljamain didn't do anything illegal. He got hit with an illegal shot, got concussed bad. So, folks, I don't think he has to explain himself to anybody. And on the flip side of that, Petr Yan, will definitely get another shot at Aljamain Sterling. That leaves Corey Sandhagen waiting even longer. Does he take another fight? Does Corey Sandhagen take another fight? Who the hell knows? You got Sandhagen waiting in the wing. You got Dillashaw, with Corey Sandhagen versus TJ Dillashaw being rumored and targeted here, folks, for TJ's return, which I actually thought about, and I knew this before it was even posted anywhere on MMA social media. I was thinking to myself, and I even posted it on Instagram here, folks, that Corey Sandhagen will take TJ Dillashaw on in his return. So, folks, I would love to see that fight happen. Two bantamweight contenders, two big ass fights, two big ass fighters waiting for their shot at gold. TJ Dillashaw waiting to redeem his gold, and Corey Sandhagen waiting for his opportunity at gold and looking to prove his words and what he's been saying about TJ Dillashaw throughout this process leading up to TJ's return. Corey's been saying, you know what, why should he get a shot? Yeah, straight off the bat. Yeah, he's the one that's been cheating the whole time. Yeah, and Corey Sandhagen has made a few valid points leading into, this bantamweight picture, you know what I'm saying? And it makes it more interesting because you kind of see if Corey Sandhagen and TJ Dillashaw do fight in the end and Corey beats TJ, where does that leave TJ? Or if TJ beats Corey, that definitely puts him against the winner of Aljamain and TJ and Petr Yan. But then on the if you look down, even further down the rankings, you got Jose Aldo, you got Rob Font, yeah. You got Pedro Munoz, you got Frankie Edgar, you even got Dominic Cruz back in the top 10 here, folks. So that bantamweight division is a very, very solid division right now. It's stacked to high heavens. Where does Cody Garbrandt fit into the picture? We haven't seen Cody in a while, and I'm actually anxious to see what Cody Garbrandt's going to bring in his return and who he's going to fight, if he's going to go down to 125 or stay at 135 and fight. It is a very, very interesting juxtaposition. It makes the picture at bantamweight more interesting, definitely, 100%. And then, folks, Of course, the second championship fight, as we alluded to, is Megan Anderson and Amanda Nunes. So Amanda Nunes just ran through Megan. What happens to the UFC featherweight division? I don't know. I don't want to see divisions get cut at all. Because it diminishes opportunities for new fighters to come and make their name in that division. Say if a woman wants to come and compete in the UFC and they can't make 135 or 125 or 115, yeah, you're gonna have to, that's why the UFC made that featherweight division. Okay, cool. Don't call it the featherweight division. Call it an open weight division. Then, all right. Call it an open weight division. I'm just saying, I don't want to see a fighter lose out on opportunity to compete on the biggest stages just because that stage doesn't have the weight class that they want to compete in. I believe that in mixed martial arts, you look at Invicta, a woman's MMA phenomenon. They pride themselves on showcasing women's MMA lightweight. You got women's featherweight, flyweight, atomweights, strawweight. Invicta, most of the Invicta champions are in the UFC right now. Former champions, current champions have moved to the UFC, So why can't the UFC pick up some of the Invicta featherweights? They picked up Megan Anderson, but Megan chokes in big fights. She chokes in big fights. Apart from her title win at Invicta, she chokes in big fights, man. This is not ballet. When you go into big fights, it is impossible to not feel pressure. You are gonna feel a lot of pressure, yeah. But when you're in a championship fight, all that pressure, bro, you somehow, some way, you need to clear it out. And Megan Anderson, I believe, did not do that coming into Amanda Nunes' fight. I believe her motivation was down for that fight. I believe she was already defeated even before the bell rang. And then, folks, Amanda Nunes and then Israel Adesanya challenged Jan Blachowicz for 2-belt dominance. Yeah, he was, of course, Israel, the middleweight king. Jan, the light heavyweight king. And Israel went up to 205, weighed in at 200 pounds. Yeah, to challenge the Polish hammer, the Polish power, the Polish king, the Polish champ. Yeah, the king of Poland, Jan Blachowicz, in what was a very, very good fight. And I respect Israel Adesanya for doing what he did and fighting the way he did. He stood. Not many people, yeah, folks, knowing how Jan has been knocking fuckers out leading up to his championship reign. He knocked out Luke Rockhold, Corey Anderson, knocked out Dominic Reyes. He has destroyed a lot of guys, man. And coming into the Israel fight, I think many people forgot how Jan Blachowicz actually got started off in the UFC. He was a grappler straight up. He used to wrestle guys early on in his UFC career. He was submitting guys, rear naked chokes and shit, bro. And I think against Israel Adesanya, he showed that. I think coming into the fight, Israel probably expected Jan to load up on big shots, throw big shots. So you had this power versus finesse type matchup, you know what I'm saying? But Jan, he showed up when it mattered. He showed up in a championship worthy performance when it counted. I think the way I scored it, I had Israel ahead on the feet. Yeah, I had Israel ahead on the feet. I'm sorry, I did. Israel put the pressure on Jan, and you don't really expect anyone to stand in the face of Jan Blachowicz. But Israel Adesanya did, He popped his jab off. He was pressuring Jan. He had him against the fence, landing a couple of good combinations, landing great combos. Israel was out. And I think Israel wasn't phased. He was not phased coming into that fight, man. And then leading up to that, folks, this past Saturday night, we saw Bilal Muhammad get eye poked severely, man. I think this redefines what severe is. I think, folks, when we see injuries, yeah, folks, in the octagon, whether it's a leg break, eye poke, concussion, whatever it may be, illegal knees, punches, soccer kicks, shit like that, you mark the hell out. You mark the fuck out. It's the viewer watching from home, yeah, is off their seat and looking at the TV or at their laptop like this. Yeah, their eyes are open, jaws are dropped, and you're thinking to yourself, what the hell has just happened? What has just happened? Yeah, I'll tell you what has just happened. Shit, yeah, that has been, that you can't avoid. You can't avoid illegal strikes. I mean, you can, yeah, you can. All right, scratch that. You can avoid illegal striking anyone illegally by using your eyes and seeing where your opponent is. It's all about fight IQ. But at the end of the day, accidents happen. Adrenaline takes over. You know, the urgency takes over. Say if you're winning, if you're losing a fight, you come into the championship or third round or whatever it may be, and you've got the guy down and out. You're trying to stop him. Your adrenaline could take over for sure, man. For sure. This is not ballet here, man. This is not professional wrestling. There is no editing out anything. You are in a fight. Yeah, it's a fight, right? You are in a fight to win. You're a mixed martial artist. You're carrying that tradition of martial arts with, within those rules, within that limit that MMA has. So, folks, what happened with Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad is, and if you saw our Instagram story, it's still live from last night. It's still there to watch, folks, from last night. Leon had Bilal Muhammad on the back foot, right? Bilal was trying to move forward, yeah. But what Leon did was he threw a kick. So he tried to throw a body kick, but threw a left hand straight after that. And what happened here with his left hand? He caught his finger right inside Bilal Muhammad's eye. And that was his second eye poke, folks, of the fight. That was his second eye poke of that fight. Yeah. So what happened after that? You saw Bilal Muhammad's eye, yeah, folks, just here. It was bleeding. Yeah, he was crying. He was squealing in the octagon. You think to yourself, wow, man, Bilal Muhammad's one of the toughest guys in the world today. How can he be screaming like that and all that shit? It happens. You're a human being, bro. You're a human being. This is not football where someone takes a dive just to get a penalty. Yeah, if you're English, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is not professional wrestling where someone dives off the top rope with their elbow. Yeah, and as soon as they hit you, you have to. This isn't like that. This is real as it gets. And we saw it with Eric Anders and Darren Stewart. And I'm like, folks, bro, bro, Eric Anders, didn't you see what happened to Aljamain Sterling? He obviously didn't. Darren Stewart was clearly on the mat, both hands on the mat. Yeah, Eric Anders was close to finishing him anyway. What the fuck? Why didn't you just fucking finish him with your hands instead of using your knee? There was a clear knee. Eric is a big guy, man. Imagine what he must be walking in at. Fucking 210, maybe 205 pounds. Yeah. He was so close to finishing Darren Stewart. Come in, right? He hit him out with the left hand, dropped Darren Stewart. Yeah, done. What do you do after that? You ground and pound, right? You pounce on top. You don't use your knees or kicks on a grounded opponent. I'll tell you that much right now. Even if it is to the body, don't ever use your knees or kicks on a grounded guy when you're close to finishing. Use your hands, man. Pounce on him. Bam, bam, bam. It's so imperative, man, to follow that. That's why them rules are in place, bro. Yeah, for safety reasons. You know what I'm saying? This is otherwise there's some bullshit. What the fuck's the point of having rules, man? And then the gloves. of course, folks, now when you see tweets and posts from fighters, they're looking at gloves, right? If you see the UFC gloves, they're almost like the padding is so thin. So your fingers stick out a lot more, especially if you're a tall guy with long, big ass hands. Your fingers are going to stick out more, right? So if you see in the regional circuit, yeah, folks, in some regional scenes in the US and in the UK, you got big gloves with big padding. So what happens when you try to stick your finger out? The padding between your knuckles is too thick for you to actually stick your fingers out all the way. Yeah, so it creates like a safety thing. You know, you're less vulnerable to eye pokes. And I think that's what the UFC need to do. I think they need to go back and reevaluate gloves. You know, simple as that, man. Simple as that, bro. The UFC have drawn in a lot of. Look, folks, take it from me here. The UFC have drawn in a lot of money as of late, so they need to put that dough to increasing the safety of the fighters. I'm not talking about helmets and shin pads and shit like that. I'm talking just about the gloves. Yeah, and a lot of fighters have been talking about it. Like Darren Till tweeted it out. You know, get the Pride gloves back. Um, it does suck. Yeah, folks, it sucks bad. But what the hell are you gonna do? You know, fuck. I mean, shit happens. It's as real as it gets. You know, um, and then when we move forward, folks. Apart from that, yeah, we saw it. What's been happening in fight nights lately, yeah, folks, is that a lot of fighters that we expect to that are favorites to win, or you know that you know uh that we expect to win don't win. You know, there's a lot of the competition and motivation and hunger of these fighters has gone up. Yeah, so it doesn't matter who you fight, what the fight is. Yeah, expect it to be a barn burner, like Charles Jourdain versus uh, Marcelo Rojo got um got fight of the night. You know, he got fight of the night. Those two guys, yeah, folks. Charles Jourdain, yeah, he's known, yeah, but Marcelo Rojo, people are like, who the hell is he, bro? Yeah, but he came in hungry, and you can tell he came in hungry. He was beating um, Charles Jourdain to the punch in the first 2 rounds. Yeah, um, I think he was winning the boxing. He was winning the stand-up exchanges. His hands were quick. He wasn't afraid to bleed. He was just fucking on his game, man. He was just reckless at times. And I think what the difference was in that third round when the finish came around is Charles Jourdain was a lot more controlled in his approach. Yeah, folks. And I always talk about fighting smart. I always talk about, and I wrote a blog article about this, folks. This is exactly what my last blog article is about. Yeah, and you can check out the MMA Reloaded 2 cents blog, yeah, folks, on MMAreloaded.co.uk. So it's exactly what I wrote a blog about. Yeah, you got to do whatever it takes to win, no doubt about that. Yeah, these exchanges are exciting. These exchanges are unpredictable. Who's going to get knocked out? Is anyone going to get knocked out? Who's going to get knocked down? Is it going to be a takedown? Yeah, you never know, right? When two guys are in the pocket, you never know what the hell is going to happen, man. And I think we saw that a lot last night. Saturday night. We saw that with Ryan Spann and Misha Serkinov. I've always liked Ryan Spann. Always. Ryan has always been one of the guys I've been a fan of for a long time. He was on a win streak coming in before he lost to Johnny Walker. Yeah, folks, I think 5-6 fights. Ryan Spann was on a win streak, yeah, and all those wins were so impressive. Yeah, he would either out wrestle his opponents, he could knock you out. He was a pit bull athlete. He was a natural athlete. Yeah, folks, for such a giant human being, he was a natural. He is a natural athlete, man. Not was, he still is. Fucking hell, he's still so young. And then, folks, what we're looking forward to, and then not even that. Yeah, not what we're looking forward to this Saturday night. Yeah, folks, on the on the 21st. Um, but UFC 260. Yeah, folks, a lot of people are talking about Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou for the UFC heavyweight championship. You know, you also, it's a great way to transition into April, no doubt about that. Yeah, but what the hell? It's not just Ngannou and Miocic on that card. Featherweight championship is also on the line there, folks. Alexander Volkanovski looks to, come back after what was a very controversial win over Max Holloway in their rematch fight, where Max Holloway, in my opinion, and in a lot of fans' opinion, won that fight. Yeah, but didn't get a nod. Yeah, folks. So I think Alexander Volkanovski wants to come back, wants to show fans what's up, and I do believe that he's facing the best version of Brian Ortega. He is facing literally the best version of TC. This is not the T City that fought Max Holloway. This is not T City that fought Clay Guida, Frankie Edgar, or anything like that. This is reinvented T City Brian Ortega. His striking, he's flowing so well with his striking. You saw it against the Korean Zombie. His striking was so good, folks. His use of his range and his length was perfect. And if he can employ that same strategy against Volkanovski, and bring that same attitude to that championship, to his only his second championship fight in the UFC, we are looking at a new featherweight champ in Brian Ortega. I believe if Brian can sort of mix it up, and get the better of Volkanovski on the feet, watch them low kicks that Volkanovski beat Holloway with in their first fight. I think Brian Ortega has everything. What it takes to be featherweight champ. No doubt about that. Yeah. And then, folks, what else can I say, man? This sport is as real as it gets, man. And we are still, folks, live and direct. I'm not going anywhere, bro. We still got episode 40. This is episode 47 of the MMA Reloaded Real Talk. You know what I'm saying? And we just come on the air a bit early before Scott Malone joins us, folks, to talk about his Cage Steel 25 main event, April 10th. Yeah, folks, and you guys know where to get tickets from, man. Go to cagesteel.co.uk or go to MMAreloaded.co.uk/events to click that special link, man, to purchase your ticket, seal your seat for April 10th at Cage Steel. Yeah, folks, event will start at 6 p.m. GMT till 11 p.m. Yeah, folks. And it is on the same night as the UFC's return. UFC on ABC, headlined by Darren Till and Marvin Vettori. So, folks, you got 2 doses of mixed martial arts on April the 10th. You got Cage Steel 25, and you got UFC on ABC 2. So, folks, it is going to be a beautiful night that night. I'm so excited to be a part of Cage Steel as a partner, as an affiliate. And hopefully, folks, as time goes by, something else, you know what I mean? I'm very, very, very excited to be with Cage Steel and work with these guys, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dominic Gibbs, the Cage Steel boss. He puts it all together, captain the helm. Shout out to the Cage Steel marketing team. Shout out to all the fighters, man. Folks, there are a lot of studs on that card that you need to watch. Yeah, folks, what our recent IGTV video showing you what the card looks like so far. Don't forget to cast your votes on that as well, man. So yeah, folks, not that long now. Another 15 minutes, and we will be joined by one half of the Cage Steel 25 main event, Scott Boom Boom Malone. Yeah, folks, and I can't wait to speak with him. The pride of Dundee, Scotland, and he's been a real sensation as of late. He's been doing shows, interviews, um, with a lot of other affiliates, a lot of other shows. Yeah, folks. So I'm very excited to sit with him and speak to Scott Malone. Folks, we also have big things coming, man, on MMA Reloaded Raw Talk leading up to our very historic 50th episode. Yeah, folks, up next, episode 48, we will have 20-fight UFC veteran, a man who I think should take a bow. Yeah, standing up for his fellow veteran and his friend Spencer Fisher. We will be sitting with Sam Hands of Stone Stout, folks. Sam Stout will be joining us on MMA Reloaded Raw Talk on the 19th. Yeah, folks, which is this Friday. So don't forget to tune into that one. Yeah, folks, it is going to be after St. Patrick's Day. And of course, folks, I wanted to speak to Sam Stout because I wanted him to tell his story, about what led to starting that foundation, the GoFundMe for Spencer Fisher. Of course, Spencer Fisher, folks, another UFC legend, 17 fights in the UFC, and he gave everything, folks, literally. He gave his health, he gave his blood, sweat, and tears for the fans. That has now led him to, be permanently disabled. And CTE, it's hard. It's hard to watch, it's hard to see, you know. But yeah, folks, we aim to, sit with Sam Stout so his voice can deservedly be heard on our platform, on the, to the public, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad he chose our platform to do it. He chose my platform to do it. Yeah, folks. It's kind of hard to talk about for real. Because, my dad always taught me that there are no shortcuts in life. Whatever you do, you got to work hard to do it. And I guess, working hard in a physically demanding sport like mixed martial arts has its consequences. And there is no doubt in hell, man. MMA, NFL, American football, football, English football, rugby, sports like that have consequences, man. Boxing. If you have a chance to check out two of the most talked about boxing stories in not in the world, really, man. Chris Eubank Sr. against Nigel Benn, and Chris Eubank Sr. against Michael Watson. And also, folks, Mike Tyson against Frank Bruno. And check out Frank Bruno's story as well that led him to, today. It basically puts all these things into perspective, yeah, folks. I mean, without guys like Frank Bruno and Mike Tyson and Michael Watson, Chris Eubank, Lennox Lewis, Prince Nazim Muhammad, even in there, man, Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, we wouldn't have, a lot of things we have now, And folks, Scott Malone is right here, man. We are live and direct. Check it out. Oh, fuck. I mean, I can't hear you. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, that's it, man.
There we go.
That's it.
I
Man,
can never figure out how to get the volume on, man.
man, technology's a bitch, bro. I'm telling you, man.
That's
No,
it.
man, welcome, bro. Welcome, shit, man. It's great to have you on,
Thank you
Scott
very much.
Boom Boom Malone, man. Shit. Now, bro, of course, prior to Dundee, Scotland, bro, and you're headlining Cage Steel 25. How are you feeling, bro, coming into April 10th? Of course, only 4 weeks away. You're main eventing it with Elliot Hoy. How are you feeling, man? How's training been going for you, bro?
Yeah, it's been going good. It's been obviously a lot different. Um, with the gyms being closed and stuff up here, it's been pretty hard to train, but I'm subsidizing it with sort of other methods of training, and I'm running a lot more. And I'm obviously going down in weight, so I'm trying to get my weight down anyway. So it's yeah, it's been good. The training's been good, man.
Yeah, man. So of course, like with 2020 being like sort of like the prime of the pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah.
how was that year for you, man? Training last year, bro.
To be honest, like I was lucky enough to fight twice last year. A lot of guys never had any fights.
Yeah,
But even at that, I felt I was cheated out of a big lump of my career. But yeah, like training last year, I was going away through at a higher level, and the training was great. I actually had more time to train because my own gym was closed, so I was able to go through and use my own gym whenever I want, obviously, and go through there and train with the pros. So it worked out perfect, to be honest.
yeah, man. No, I'm glad, man, because a
Yeah,
lot of people, it didn't work out for them, and one of the lucky few, right there,
yeah.
man. But bro, for fans who don't know who Scott Malone is, yeah, but how did it all start for you, bro, in mixed martial arts, man?
Um, well, I did judo. I've done judo since I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
I went on to become Scottish champion, British champion, Commonwealth champion. I competed quite a high level all around the world, like Canada, and yeah, it took me places. And then I sort of fell out with love with judo, and um, I fell out with the coaches. I wasn't doing nothing. I was going to the gym trying to get hench, and yeah, I think I went up to like at the time before I quit judo. I used to sit about maybe 63 kilos, and then
Wow.
once I actually once I quit judo and I was going to the gym, I was up to like 72 and a half kilos. So at the time, I felt huge, and yeah, I wanted to do some sort of cardio, and a few of my friends were going down to the local MMA gym, and I went along just to do a conditioning class.
Mm-hmm.
Did the conditioning class, and I was going like each week, and I sort of just fell in love with it from there. I wanted to learn how to hit the bag properly, and just yeah, it was new, like learning for me. It was because of judo. I mean, there's only so many things you can learn in judo, and then it becomes just hard work. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, I was learning every time I went to the gym. I was learning new stuff, and it was yeah. That's why I sort of fell in love with it. Even to this day, I'm still learning stuff. You know what I mean? It's the wheel that keeps on turning, man. It's mental.
No, definitely, bro. Whether it's 2 fights, whether it's 20 fights in your career, man, you never stop learning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, but outside the cage, you're very active as well, man. You do
yeah.
PT sessions as well. Um, when you do those sessions, bro, what what's your approach to training clients? Do you take the same approach with everyone, or do you tailor it for different people, man?
No, each person's obviously different.
Yeah.
Most of the I'm lucky enough. Like this is the kind of clientele I want anyway. I'm not wanting guys that want to come in and look good. I'm
Mm.
wanting preferably guys to come in and get strong and get healthier. And it's not just obviously guys. I get like older women and stuff that they just want to get healthy. They're not really bothered about too much about losing weight and stuff. They just want to get strong and they want to get healthy and they want to get fit. And yeah, that's the kind of thing I prefer to do. Obviously, I can do the other one as well to get them to look good. But yeah, that's most of the people that come to me. It's more like functional strength rather than just looking good in front of the mirror, to be honest. Yeah.
No, for sure, man. Definitely,
Yeah,
man. And especially like with the pandemic going on, yeah, at least people are grateful that someone who is mobile, and can do this sort of
yeah,
stuff with them one to one, it
uh-huh.
they become a lot more grateful for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man. When we speak about training, bro, especially for us, here in the UK, yeah, man. Do you feel when you take a fight, Scott? Do you feel that your routine changes with every fight? Catering to the fighter, catering to your opponent, or do you feel that you come in and you'll do the same routine throughout training camp?
Well, obviously, this one's a little bit different.
Yeah,
Um, just because obviously the gyms are closed and etc. etc. But yeah, most of it's just trying about getting me fit and getting me to where I need to feel mentally as well. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah, man.
I need to be a certain level of fitness for me to feel mentally ready for a fight.
Yeah.
And if I'm not getting that fitness, it makes me train harder. So yeah, that's where I want to be. As long as I feel good inside my head, that's I don't think there's no stopping me on the night.
Because when we talk weight cut, yeah, bro, it's practically one of the biggest things in
Yeah,
mixed martial arts, being a fighter, right?
yeah,
Uh, bro, 70%, 80%. That's what you have to focus on. Yeah, and
yeah,
you talked about going down in weight for this one.
yeah.
How how has that been for you, man? How has your mindset been holding up through that weight cut, bro?
Yeah, well, I've been vegan now for a year,
Oh,
so going vegan's like really, really helped. Like before, I've shot up to like 75 kilos and stuff before, where after I fought Jack Shore, I wasn't really training, but that was like the heaviest I've ever been in my life, and you seen it in my face. I was like all puffed up and stuff, and it
yeah,
was horrible. It was shit. Um, but since going vegan, I've actually like I don't sit any higher than maybe 68 kilo.
nice.
And for me, I was always quite a small bantamweight anyway, I think.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, like it's just so much easier to lose weight when I'm eating healthier. I'm still enjoying food, whereas before I would eat too many cakes, and like now I've sort of banned myself from eating all this shit food, and I'm
Yeah,
taking in a lot more food. I'm taking in a lot more carbs, just feeling all better. And it's like I'm already now sitting like 2 or 3 kilos underneath what I usually come in at fight week. So yeah, it's feeling good. And obviously, I've got an extra 10 pounds to lose, but yeah, it's great, man.
oh man, that's great, bro. And then I guess the secret to weight cutting is your nutrition, right? Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't take in too much shit a week, 2 weeks before the
no,
fight. It's bullshit.
no,
We've seen that, especially in the big leagues. Yeah, we've seen that, bro. And I don't know whether it's because these lot want publicity or whatever it is. Yeah, but
yeah,
um, yeah, man. I guess nutrition is the main aspect to weight cut, bro.
hmm
And when we talk about MMA in Scotland, yeah, Scott boy, and I guess um, it's evolving so much now, man.
yeah,
Joanne Calderwood and Paul Craig, people like that making carving the path for Scottish MMA.
yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel, man? In your what's your opinion on how Scottish mixed martial arts has evolved with all these fighters making it to the big time, bro?
Yeah, I think it's always been just kind of a matter of time. Yeah, we're such a small country, and it's like we've not got many fighters, and that's part of the reason why I always travel to train. Um, the guys I own my own gym, but the guys at my gym are sort of they're all just learning out. Nobody's had a fight yet or nothing like that, so I can get some training in at least. But like the sparring side of things and the more technical stuff, I'll go through to like higher level. Used to go through and train at Scottish Hit Squad.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, like the talent from Scotland, I think it's literally just coming through. I'm seeing all these younger guys at my gym, and I'm like, you're going to fuck me up pretty soon. And yeah, like you see all these young guys coming through, and just like on the amateur scenes and stuff, and you know what I mean, they're so good. It's unbelievable.
bro, I guess owning your own gym, yeah, you can scout a lot of guys like that, right, bro?
Yeah,
You be like, oh shit, that guy's fucking hench, he's putting
yeah,
in work. he's going to be big. You know what I mean? And do
Yeah.
you sort of are you like that, bro? Do you keep an eye on people in the gym and see like who's got potential, who don't, you know, and or do you just sort of lay back and um,
No, no. Like I know everybody's got potential. You know what I mean?
definitely.
I like guys that work hard. The guys that are putting in the work are the guys that are going to last in the sport. To be honest, you get these really talented guys that are just naturally talented, but sometimes they're just lazy because they rely on their talent so much.
Yeah.
So yes, I look for guys that are working hard, and I'm always quite positive for the guys. Just like positive reinforcement and stuff, and just constantly telling them that they can do it, man. A big thing that I've realized as well over the past maybe couple of years is like, don't be afraid to lose. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to lose, and that's what's going to make you a better fighter at the end of the day. If you're going out there just to scrape a win, then it's probably not going to show your full potential as a fighter. So, especially the amateur guys, and like your amateur record means nothing.
100%.
So yeah, go out there and do your thing, man, and just enjoy it and be as creative as possible and just enjoy it more.
Do you think that's why, you know, we see a lot of young guys that come to the pro ranks have about 20, 30 amateur fights, you know?
Yeah,
Do you think that's why we see that is because, you know, they want to build that experience or cage time, you know, and they want to get themselves ready for the pros, you know, because
yeah,
sometimes nowadays, you know, we see guys take two amateur fights and think they're
mhm,
already ready for professional, you
yeah.
know. How important is it for young guys to build amateur experience, man?
Yeah, I would say the more experience, the better. Obviously, I would say like grappling tournaments,
Yeah,
even like a boxing fight, K1 fights, Muay Thai fights. Like these all play the part in obviously with fighting MMA as well. So it's like I think the next BJJ competitions and maybe in Manchester, and because some of the guys were pretty much a week out from having like a rookie tournament where you're fighting machine guards and stuff like that.
yeah,
So they trained really hard all the way through, and then they were 1 week out, and then the show got cancelled because of COVID. So it was like it was kind of a kick in teeth for other guys. But yeah, I've told them keep training,
yeah,
jump on like that next BJJ tournament, and then get the experience of being in front of people and competing and stuff like that. So
definitely,
yeah, it's just
definitely.
waiting on all these guys coming through and just show them what they can do, man.
No, definitely, bro. And I respect that, man. You know what I mean? Using your own experience to bring up the next generation.
Yeah,
Um, you know, bro, and speaking of your experience, man, you were when it comes to British MMA, the pinnacle is Cage Warriors. You know,
yeah,
that's where every British MMA fighter wants to end up, you know, on their way to the UFC and stuff. Um,
yeah,
when you got the call, bro, to go to Cage Warriors, because you had a great stint there. You
yeah.
fought for the belt. How were you feeling first when you got that call to come to Cage Warriors and fight, bro?
Oh, it was at the time. I just came off a win over, I think it was Adam Bramall.
Yeah,
And I was trying to get fights anywhere, and I literally could not get matched. I think it was like 3-1 or something like that. I was just really struggling to get a fight matched.
mm,
So yeah, when I got the call for Cage Warriors, it's always been a little dream of mine from basically when I started MMA. I was watching Cage Warriors, and I was seeing Conor McGregor coming through and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that was kind of inspiring, and I'd always wanted to fight on Cage Warriors. So getting that call meant a good bit. That was like one of my goals. It was a good stepping stone for me um, as a fighter. Yeah. So
yeah,
going
man.
on there and then making my way to the title was great. You know what I mean? It's obviously I didn't get that title, but
I
yeah,
know.
I got there.
You must have been like we talked about earlier, man. It must have been that learning curve for you, right?
Yeah,
Where you were 6 appearances, if I'm not wrong, Cage Warriors, three
yeah,
and three. You fought a veteran in your debut, in Amara Singh, bro, and
yeah,
and you beat him, you know, and you started to make your way down there. Got three in a row. Um,
mhm.
when you came in, bro, to fight Jack Shaw. Yeah, and there's no shame in losing to that guy, honestly,
Ah,
because he's on his fucking game right now.
yeah.
When you came into that fight, bro, how were you feeling coming into that fight? But how was training coming in, and how were you feeling during the fight, man?
Um, Coming into the fight, I was still working full time, so I was working a 9 to 5 job. I was still scaffolding, which is not an easy job. It's yeah,
Never.
it's
Yeah.
so yeah, it was hard, but I felt great for the fight. There's no excuses whatsoever in that fight. Even in the fight, like I think the fight went really well. I think the first round
Yeah.
probably could have went my way. Second round was probably his, and obviously the third round he stopped me. But yeah, he caught me with a good kick in the later seconds of the last round, and it hurt. It got right in the sweet spot, and yeah, I think that's what sort of won the fight, to be honest. But yeah, up until that point, I felt great towards him. I didn't feel like my depth whatsoever, and it was a confidence booster, and obviously, like you've said, a learning curve as well.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. And I respect you now, bro, because you fought someone of that caliber. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
you took him to the limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, man. I was watching a fight a couple of days ago, actually, man. From when we started talking and started to get this underway. I watched the fight a couple of days, man, and it was razor thin, bro.
Hmm.
Coming into that third round. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was close as hell.
Hmm.
And then bro, when we talk about your experience and we talk about it's been a while since you fought a cage steel. It's
Yeah.
been a hot minute. There's over 100 fighters on this card, man. Amateur title fights. You got fucking main card title fights. You got stars are literally coming out of this, man.
Yeah.
How does that feel to you, man, to be chosen as one half of the main event in the return pay-per-view, man?
Yeah. Good. So, like I never actually realised it was going to be main event
Oh
until
shit.
they announced it. I did speak to Dom. Dominic phoned me, and we were speaking, and he was supposed to be doing like a month of madness. So he was
Yeah.
going to be doing each one, and he did say like you're going to headline one, but then I never actually realised that there was only one show because he actually told me the 17th of April. So
Oh,
even I think maybe 2 weeks ago, I found out it wasn't the 17th of April. When the fight got announced, I was like, okay, I guess it's the 10th now. So yeah, that was a bit weird, but yeah, I got there. But yeah, the feeling of obviously being main event for that is it's a good feeling, especially with all the fighters that are like trying to get on that show at the moment. Yeah,
definitely, definitely, man. You got a lot of guys on there, man, and you're fighting a very young guy, bro. A guy
yeah.
who's won championships on the regional circuit. Do you feel and a lot of people, man, are actually thinking that experience can play a factor, and for you, bro, and your size and
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel your what do you think your advantages are coming into this one, man?
I think everywhere, to be honest. I genuinely think everywhere. I think he's a great fighter. He's quite relentless. You won't stop. His cardio looks great. His grappling's good. His striking's good. He's good all round. You know what I mean? And he's young and he's hungry as well. So he's going to be out to kill an old man like me. So, but yeah, I think the experience, and I think I'm just going to be a bit stronger than him. And obviously, I'm running a lot and I'm training hard to get the weight down, which in return brings the fitness out. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm getting obviously a lot fitter as well. So I think it's going to be a good war, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great fight, no doubt about that, man. It's gonna be a
Hmm.
great fight, bro. And when we talk about fights here, but when we talk about MMA, and I just want to get your opinion on this before we wrap it up.
Yep.
As of late, Scott, it's been a real unpredictable sport. I don't know if you've been keeping up with UFC fight nights over the past couple weeks.
I've not
Uh,
seen the weekends there, but I've seen the one before. Yeah.
but the reason why I just want to talk to you about it is because eye pokes, low blows, referees, the whole nine. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we talk about a referee's job in there, man, as a fighter, yeah, have you ever been, first of all, on the receiving end of a shit decision or a call during a fight that you don't really agree with?
No, to be honest, I've not. I've been in a close decision, which
Yeah.
to me on the night it was 100% accurate. You know, what I mean, I felt in my head that I'd lost the fight. That was one of my amateur fights against Aiden Stephen, who's actually fighting this weekend or maybe next weekend,
Okay.
on Cage Warriors. But yeah, me and Aiden are like good friends now. You know what I mean? But the fight itself was a great fight. It was back and forth, and it was on the night I thought I'd lost, and then sometimes you watch it back and I was like, well, maybe it could have went for me, but yeah, that's the only thing that's even came close to that. Everything else, I've only been to decision twice now in my pro career, and yeah, that's it, man. That's the game. It's like I think I had one amateur fight where Stevie Ray was reffing, and I hit the guy. I actually counted the strikes. I hit the guy like 300 times in one round. These were 3-minute rounds as well. And it eventually got stopped, but there could have been maybe like 4 or 5 times where it could have been stopped, you know what I mean? But it did eventually get stopped, and I was actually gassing myself out because I was punching him that many times. It was that again. That was like one of these things, but I think he's obviously a fighter himself, so he was giving him the fighter's chance. He was wanting every time he would say, right, improve your position, he would move, you know what I mean? So yeah, he gave him every chance, but then I actually had to get oxygen after that fight. Yeah, I started being sick, and it was madness.
Like, nowadays, considering that there's been a lot of that recently, bro, that a lot of guys have to throw and throw and throw and throw and throw to finish the fight. And they feel that the referee should have stopped it 20, 30 strikes ago, but they didn't. They don't go for submissions. They rely on TKOs. Do you feel, bro, that that has led to the referees being, coming under a lot of scrutiny lately because of safety, of a fighter?
Yeah.
They want to give the fighter a chance, but the fighters don't feel they've been given a chance. How frustrating is that, bro? And do you feel like that's what we're seeing as MMA progresses?
Yeah, I think you're always going to get somebody's always going to complain. You know what I mean? Whether you're on the receiving end or whether you're on, if you're the guy getting hit and you maybe get 6 clean shots or whatever. To me personally, I think it should be stopped. But if I was getting 6 clean shots and I feel like I'm still in the fight, then you know what I mean? If it got stopped, then I'd be like, fuck. So it works both ways for each fighter. I think you've got to obviously give the fighter a chance, but at the same time, you don't want the fighter to get hurt too much. But everybody's different. You know, only the guy in there that's actually fighting knows how they're feeling at that moment in time. And sometimes they'll still argue the case even if they're getting beat up. You know what I mean? They'll still say, "Oh, we're still in the fight," but if you're not intelligently defending yourself, then you should definitely be getting stopped.
Yeah, man. And I guess that's where like submissions come in handy, right? Because if you're tired of punching the guy, and you have like a side control or you're half guard, or you're about to take the guy's back, choke his ass out. You know what I mean? But it's not rocket science, bro. It's what you've been trained to do. You know what I mean? And when you see like Darren Stewart got a knee in the head, you got Aljamain Sterling got a knee in the head, and you feel like these guys should. What's the point of having rules? You know what I'm saying? And when fans say that, oh, this guy's acting, he's just playing a role, he didn't really get hit. How does that make you feel, bro? Because you've got a lot of fans that have a lot of opinions, bro.
I'd like to see them take a knee in the face,
definitely,
and see how they act.
yeah, fucking right, bro.
especially on your knees, man. If you're on your knees and getting kneed in the face,
Yeah.
it's going to hurt. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to hurt. One championships, they've got the rule where you can actually knee to the head. So it's going to stop people from sitting on their knees and trying to play the game a little bit. But that's not the rules in the UFC. That's the rules in one championships. So yeah, you should obviously know the rules. Everybody knows the rules that you can't knee them in the face, especially when they've got two knees on the ground. But yeah, like I said, I'd like to see someone take a knee to the face and then want to get up and keep fighting.
You know, or even try to complain about it afterwards. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
bro, like there's a whole talk about making the gloves thicker as well, Scott. You know, because in the British regional scene, yeah, but we got thick gloves. You know what I mean? We got the gloves that cover your knuckles as well. You know, and they make it harder. You know, you got them padding like at the top. Yeah, it makes it harder to put your hands out, right?
Yeah.
So, bro, do you think that should be employed into the UFC? You know, we got a lot of guys talking about eye pokes, 2-3 incidents, you know, in the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that should be should be put in place, man?
I think you're going to see a lot less knockouts. I think the 4-ounce gloves are perfect, to be honest. Especially that's the big difference that you notice from going from amateur to pro. Obviously, you've got elbows as well, but yeah, like over in America, I realized that they wear 4-ounce gloves for amateur fights. They've just got no elbows and stuff, so their whole career they're going through fighting with 4-ounce gloves. You know what I mean? I think I like the 4-ounce gloves. You can grip a little bit more on things. You don't seem to get them like stuck in places, and you know what I mean, it's easier to get chokes and whatever else. So yeah, I prefer the 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, and bro, to wrap it all up, you know, I want to say good luck. You're about now 3 weeks out. Now it's going to be. I hope the rest of the training goes well. I hope you go well in the fight, bro. I'll be fucking streaming in. And thank you so much, man, for coming out, man. I hope
Thank you very much.
I hope it all goes well, man, in your career, and we see some gold around your waist soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, thank you so much, bro.
Thank you very much, man. Cheers.
Thank you, bro. It's been a pleasure, man.
You too, mate. Bye.
Bye bye.